Hi, everybody. This is Winter Solace, Custom Weapon of Thule. This is the Internet Drama Roundup segment for 2025 for a December-January podcast. I want to wish everybody a happy Kwanzaa. All right, so Vothana on Netflix. Now, I cannot actually show this because they'll say the footage is copywritten, even though a screenshot of it. Months ago, there was some documentary on the New Yorker magazine, which is some failed leftist globalist publication that I have never read, that nobody has ever read, and is not even fit to wipe one's ass with. And I do not believe it to be any factual resource of any kind. And somehow, in this documentary, they filmed part of it at a record store, and some guy just goes up in their experimental section and just picks up a copy of Game Over. Now, I mean, I looked up the shop, I looked up everything about it, we have no clue how they got this. I'm amazed we even found out about it because I still cannot figure out who involved in black metal even looks at that or listens to that. But I want to be some fucking guy at Netflix, be a fly on the wall of that conversation when somebody looks up the band and goes, hey, why did you put this in your documentary? Because the only people who are going to watch a documentary on the New Yorker of their own free will, because that are factually interested in it, are the kinds of people that go and complain about everything and report everything. Like to be a fly on the wall of that conversation when whoever authorized that being in there gets fired. So that actually happened. And you can go watch that. I'm not going to watch that. I don't care about the New Yorker. Yeah. Anyway. Alright, Asrar Derangement Syndrome, or more specifically, my Substack article on it. And now I'm not going to talk about the actual article or anything else that's in there. You can go on my Substack and you can read it. It's probably the only in-depth look at that, and there will be more articles on more subjects because, and this is old, it's changed, probably more now. I took this when it got 502 views, and then 88 days in the past, 88 views in the past 14 days, which means somebody somewhere in the ether approves. This Substack article, and some of this is bot traffic, is the most consumed thing I've ever done, ever made in my entire life. And you go, well, that's 500 people. That's not a lot. Well, to me, that is a lot. That's the level that we operate at. I am very well in proper capacity of the size of our audience, despite all those people online that want to say I'm fucking delusional. For Grom Pagan War Machine, the LP, we had 500 LPs. For the CD pressings of that stuff, for the stuff that that we do that's known and everyone buys, it's 500 copies. More people, in theory, on paper, consumed this article than I have pressed of stuff. And when we press 500 of something, that's the intent to keep it around for, like, years. So, clearly, there is an interest and a demand for that type of viewpoint and outlook and you know, I don't want to say journalism, because it's not in theory what that is, but that type of human interest, journalistic look at some of these subjects. So, message received, I'm already working on several other articles and getting facts and research and coinciding them with the podcast and just putting all of this information out there, all of this knowledge and all of these things, so people can take them and just use these things in whatever discourse they want online. As long as you don't monetize it, distort it, or try to take my money or something, or fucking make memes and Telegram emojis and all that mentally ill crap. But the whole point is to just put all this out there in some consumable form. Okay, because all these people have been whining about Asrar for, it was like 50 plus pages on the Black Vault. And now, as you can see here, all the whining and complaining, of these campaigns doesn't work. We have the documents. As you can clearly see here, we have the document. It's a singular document. This is some flyer some fucking meme site found. And while they had their purpose behind it and their meaning, and they wanted to say that this was drama back then, before the internet, because everyone, in an attempt to just coalesce around how the internet just ruined black metal, it's like, no. The thing that ruined black metal always just changes. Without the internet, black metal in its current form would not exist in any way, shape, or form as we know it, and I don't care what anyone says. But anyway, this is a flyer campaign that somebody distributed back in the early 90s to stop a then underground and lesser known label by the name of Nuclear Blast from Germany. I mean, so it's good to know that worked out, because that company has absolutely no money now and nobody knows what it is. Never mind that as a CEO, board of directors is publicly traded, changed ownerships numerous times, and is a gigantic conglomerate. Okay, just so it's good to know that worked. What made me want to do this video segment on this is I for the most part, I am legitimately done talking about Asrar. However, not even 24 hours after I got that posted and got that done, I sat down on a Sunday and just wrote it all out. It took like all day. Not even 24 hours after we got that up and people started consuming it, I got sucked back into that void. And as a result of putting that knowledge out there, I had people unfriend me online because we called out that we caught somebody paying for ads to whine about how something is a bootleg when it's not. And that wasn't the guy doing this. And while we've edited out the label name because they took this down and they had the adult diligence to go and admit they're wrong, which is something that is extremely easy to do. You just go say I was wrong. But people don't do this because they get stuck on their ego and bitching about stuff when the ego is an organism and a muscle that is designed to protect you from change. And if your viewpoint on something is incorrect, you thus have to change your viewpoint, and the ego is protecting you from that. But there's a whole group of people online, because as I said, I had people unfriend me over it. We had one distributor or vendor or somebody that got an attitude with me about it, and now if he ever comes back, I'm going to just be like, hey, we don't make enough money off of your stuff to import this, so you can go get someone else to sell your stuff here and buy from you. Because we got caught up on all the backdated, fucked up manufacturing, so we can pass on some of these deals now. I'm not saying and I'm not even saying these people have to agree with me. It's just they tried to block this. Because they don't understand it's all part of this myosobic response. See, Asrar pressed something. Their whole batch, I guess, is all stuff that I think like one of them, they did do a deal with the artist in some form. It's all done through licensing. And I have this diagram here that I made. It's going to explain how this simple process works. Okay, we're going to just do some educational stuff here. I mean, this isn't the business tutorial segment, but I'm going to just do some education here for people, okay? And this is, again, very basic, all right? Here's how licensing works, okay? The band records their album. That's the first thing. So the album comes into existence, okay? And then next, a business label releases the album. And let me explain what a business label is. A business label is a label that is ran by somebody that functions like a business. And that means that they, for whatever reason, be it capitalist motivation, or let's say they're legally required to show a profit for taxes and not lose money, that can be motivation enough, or a label with business sense releases the album. See, there are plenty of labels and people and stuff out there that just release stuff, and then once it physically exists, they're already moved on and they don't give a fuck about it and nobody cares. And then all of that stuff is worthless, and then somebody like me goes and presses bands like that, and then drops them when they go do dumb stuff, like tell us that we're going to release their stuff, and then just go randomly decide they want to give it to another label because they're all hyped up on being in the Insta void. The void of Instagram, the Mayasaba. It's all hyped up on that, and then that tanks whatever we were going to do, But so anyway, business label releases the album. And then business label assumes ownership of the album when the band doesn't care enough to keep it in print, or they legally buy the album, or they paid for the guy to go in a studio, and thus they produce the album, and thus they own it. Or they, somehow, the rights of this belong to the business label entity. And you can think about that what you will, but it happens all the time. Okay, and then the cycle just repeats itself. Okay, because usually if a band gets in that, they don't go back. Okay, that's called being a pro band. Not some fucking underground demo you made with a drum machine that you record on your cell phone in your mom's basement. Okay, this is the deep end of the pool. This is where you actually have to know which end of your instruments to hold and how to record. And another subject, all those people that took money from Asroar and then now all of a sudden don't want them to print their stuff again, you realize when it goes out of print, he's just going to go repress it and say that he owns it because you took money from him. But that's that. Anyway, so you have this cycle. This cycle. Okay, this is part one. Now, usually some time passes because the business label just lets it fall out of print because they don't care enough or whatever, or it just exists. And so some time has passed since this took place. And then some other company, other label, just goes and does a deal for the album with the business label without talking to the band. And then that album is repressed, again, usually sold at some higher inflated price. Meanwhile, this guy gets screwed because he didn't pay attention, he didn't care enough to keep it in circulation. So you have this, that's happening. And then we get to the final phase of this, okay, and this is the real important thing. Because you got to really look to understand how this happens. You got to really be focused on it, okay? Everyone talks shit online that some label they didn't like pressed something they wanted as they're ordering it. Like, I've even had that happen about me. I mean, it doesn't happen very often anymore because people finally just moved on. But there used to be people that would just hate every single fucking thing about me, talk a bunch of garbage online while buying stuff from me, and then think we wouldn't find out about it. But anyway, so that happens, and then because it makes money, the cycle just repeats itself. So as you can clearly see here, you have this 6 configuration here, and that's how all of that works. And while that sucks for the band, who usually gets screwed, and there are plenty of things that the bands can do to not have that happen, but that's that. And we're going to just get rid of this and put up something more intellectually important than derangement syndrome.